Yeah, I think for sure the big issue that you bring up in streaming is that 3 years ago it was something on the horizon. It was already starting to make some changes. But here at the ANA, it's now like it's an engine that can't be stopped. And a lot of the talk on the stages from Mark Pritchard and others and Raja have been about the importance of purpose and the courage it takes to drive change, and that's sometimes difficult for large corporations and large brands. The world of digital enables you to do things differently, it enables you to target better, message differently, it enables you to measure differently. And the media industry has been resistant to change, and I think what's happened is we're essentially, this may sound trite, through the tipping point of streaming is now going to do to TV and the rest of media what many have been trying to do for decades. And I think we're going to see the capacity to deliver much more precision in campaigns. We are going to, I believe, elevate the role of advertising. I think we're going to also move into a bit more of a purpose-driven, consumer-driven advertising. And we have Peter Naylor of Netflix advertising here at the conference. That's a whole new world of AVOD in a company that's been all about the consumer. And so it's now going to enable a lot of new companies. I mean, you in your interviews for years have been featuring the changes on the measurement side particularly. And this alt measurement movement is now like not just changing the way Nielsen goes to market, but every other part of the industry.
Dave, what about performance expectations about ROI? We've been talking about that. We know it well in the digital space. What about in the TV space? What's going on? What are expectations, and particularly given the uncertainty in the economy?
So here I'm going to be a contrarian to a lot of people in the industry. I'll be zagging when people zig. There is no question that in the connected TV world, the streaming world, we have the capacity to bring the same level of deep bottom of the funnel measurements for conversions, for attribution. But I don't think that is going to be the best use of streaming, nor do I think that is really what's going to drive the future of that business. And it fundamentally, because in the world of streaming, it's person's time and attention to a large screen with really their full engagement. That's scarce, a person's time over and attention over a period of time. In the pure digital world and the mobile world, you have multiple units on every page, every phone screen, in the outdoor world. And so their supply exceeds demand, and cost per acquisition, cost per conversion have become the lingua franca. What will be different in streaming is that we're going to have top of the funnel metrics drive the media. Total points, total impressions, reach. What's different is we're going to find the secondary metrics, the secondary promises of what are my conversions, how did they convert, how loyal are they, what quality of a customer are they, how well do these first-party data targets work. That's going to be equally as important, a little bit less. So I would say it will be really helpful during the macroeconomic issues because people can justify to their CEOs and their shareholders the power of CTV in ways they can't justify linear today. But it won't just have to be direct response, blinky, flashy ads, conversion, cost per acquisition only.
What about motivating web search as a result of ads? Is that a big thing, or could it be?
I think it could be. I think that we're going to learn better. I mean, the one advantage with connected TV and streaming is that you have the chance to deploy many, many creatives and change those creatives against different cohorts of targeting and modify or optimize them depending on how things work. And so you can imagine in many ways where streaming pitches and mobile or the web catches, and go here to search this, and actually be able to measure that and close the loop on that, which will be really powerful. I think that vice versa, you're going to be able to do retargeting against people that have searched certain kinds of things or have made certain kinds of purchases, but in a much more elegant and friendly way than the pair of shoes that follow you around the web for 3 months.
Dave, tell us what's happening with Simulmedia. You guys have a big presence here. What's the conversation and what's happening with the company?
Big thing for Simulmedia is, it feels like we're a 13 and a half year old company that's like, time has finally come. It's like an overnight success 13 years in. Our business has grown extraordinarily over the last 3 or 4 years, and even more so. And we're no longer just the data-driven linear company, but we're fully instrumented across all of the major streaming publishers and TV networks. And we're the only company out there that has the capacity to go cross-channel, cross TV and streaming in a fully integrated way, cross companies, cross all of the companies, on both an audience or a content basis. And there's a lot of companies that are very committed just to CTV. I mean, the Trade Desk nails that, and Jeff Green's very clear. He doesn't want to be in a linear business. You have a lot of companies that are very good within their company. I mean, NBCU, Comcast are extraordinary for the inventory in their company, but we're going to focus on being able to help advertisers across all of the different companies, so the entire span, on all of the linear and streaming channels, whether it's an audience or a content basis. And that message is really resonating with marketers, and in these macroeconomic times particularly, we're seeing those that want to go streaming first, or who are people we never could work with before, are flooding through. And at the ANA, they're stopping by our booth every 5 minutes.